Welcome to our deep dive. You ready to get into the life and career of Rihanna?
Absolutely. I think she's someone whose music we all know, but there's a lot more to her story than just the hits.
Exactly. And that's what we're here to uncover, right? Our listeners want to know how she went from Barbados to becoming this global icon.
Yeah, how her music has changed over time, what she's been up to outside of music, and also how she's handled life with the whole world watching her.
So much to unpack. Where do we even begin with someone like Rihanna?
Well, you gotta start at the beginning, right? Her roots.
Okay, so back to Barbados. What was it like for her growing up?
It was more than just a beautiful island. It really shaped her musical identity, you know? She was surrounded by reggae, obviously, but also American hip hop and R&B.
And that mix, it's so evident in her music, isn't it?
Totally. It's like the foundation of her sound was built right there in her childhood.
Speaking of early signs, there's that story about her winning a high school talent show, singing Mariah Carey.
Oh, yeah, I love that story.
That's like a classic pop princess origin story.
It really does feel that way. You see that raw talent and charisma, even at a young age. It's incredible.
So how did she go from talent shows to, global stardom? What was that journey like?
Well, there was this pivotal moment, when she was discovered by Evan Rogers, an American record producer.
But he was on vacation in Barbados, right?
Yeah, imagine that. He hears this girl singing and he's immediately blown away.
Must have been something special.
Oh, absolutely. He saw her potential right away and they started working on a demo together.
And this demo, it ended up in the hands of Jay-Z.
Yeah, he was running Def Jam recordings at the time, and he's the one who gave her that big break.
So Jay-Z hears the demo, calls her in for an audition.
And signs her on the spot. Talk about a whirlwind.
And then boom, Pon de Replay takes over the airwaves.
Instant international sensation. It was incredible.
What do you think it was about that song that captured everyone's attention?
It was the perfect blend of her Barbadian roots and that global pop sound. It had the energy of dance hall, the catchiness of pop, and of course that voice.
Her voice is really something else, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And she showed off her range on that debut album, Music of the Sun.
That album really solidified her place in the music world.
It did. And then came A Girl Like Me, her second album, where she continued to explore that unique sound. But it was SOS that really took things to another level.
Sampling Tainted Love was genius.
It was such a clever move, taking that classic 80s track and giving it her own spin.
And it worked. She bridged generations with that song.
Totally. It was a risk, but it paid off big time.
Do you think that's when people started to see her as a trendsetter, someone who wasn't afraid to experiment?
Definitely. She wasn't afraid to push those boundaries, and that fearlessness is a big part of what makes her so captivating.
And speaking of pushing boundaries, her next album, Good Girl Gone Bad, was a complete transformation.
It was like a declaration of independence, wasn't it? The music, the look, everything changed.
It was a deliberate reinvention. She was shedding that good girl image and embracing a much bolder persona.
Exactly, and the music reflected that. It was edgier, more confident, more mature.
And she worked with Timbaland and Justin Timberlake on that album. That must have had a huge impact on her.
Huge. Those collaborations are so important, especially early on in a career. They bring fresh perspectives.
And then came Umbrella. That song was everywhere.
A global phenomenon, an anthem. I mean, come on. Everyone knows that song.
It really cemented her status as a pop icon. She even won a Grammy for it.
It showed the world that she could make music that was both commercially successful and artistically innovative.
But not long after that incredible high, things took a difficult turn with the Chris Brown incident.
Right. It was a very public and painful experience, and it had a profound impact on her, both personally and professionally.
Her album, Rated R, which came out after that, had a much darker feel to it.
It was raw, it was honest, you could feel the pain and anger she was going through, but also her resilience,
It felt like she was processing a lot through her music.
Absolutely. And then she came back with Loud, which felt like reclaiming her power.
It was a statement, I'm back and I'm stronger than ever.
Exactly. Loud marked a triumphant return, full of energy, confidence, and hit after hit. It was with that album that she actually became the youngest artist to ever reach 10 Billboard #1 hits. Talk about a milestone.
An incredible achievement. And she didn't stop there. Talk That Talk and Unapologetic followed both massive albums.
She was on a roll, unstoppable, constantly pushing boundaries and evolving her sound.
And what's amazing is that during this time, She also started building her empire beyond music.
That's right. Let's talk about her ventures. Outside of music, she dipped her toes into acting.
Yeah, she had roles in Battleship and Ocean's 8.
But it's her work in the fashion and beauty industries that's really made waves.
Fenty Beauty, that was a game changer.
It launched in 2017 and instantly became a phenomenon.
What do you think it was about Fenty Beauty that resonated so strongly with people?
It was about more than just makeup, it was about representation. From the get-go, it championed inclusivity, offering this wide range of foundation shades.
It really challenged those long-held beauty standards that had excluded so many people for so long.
Exactly. It was about empowering people to embrace their natural beauty, no matter their skin tone.
And then came Savage X Fenty, her lingerie line, with the same focus on body positivity.
Savage X Fenty took that same inclusive approach, offering a variety of sizes and styles to cater to everyone.
It was another bold move, challenging those industry norms and empowering women to feel confident and sexy in their own skin.
Absolutely. And then there's her partnership with LVMH to create the Fenty fashion line, which, made her the first woman of color to head a fashion house at LVMH.
That's a major accomplishment. She really broke down barriers with that.
It was groundbreaking. It showed the world that a woman of color could not just succeed, but really thrive in the world of high fashion, traditionally very exclusive.
And while the Fenty fashion line is on pause right now, it definitely left its mark on the industry.
It did. It challenged the status quo and paved the way for more diversity and inclusion.
It's incredible how she built this diverse and successful empire outside of music, but through it all, her personal life has been under intense scrutiny.
It comes with the territory, right? The media attention, especially after the Chris Brown incident, it never really let up.
It's tough. She's had high-profile relationships with Drake and A.P. Rocky, and now she's a mother of two. It's amazing how she manages to maintain any privacy.
She's very strategic about what she shares. She controls her own narrative, which is powerful in today's world.
It makes you wonder how she balances it all. The music, the businesses, motherhood, the public persona.
She's a master of compartmentalization and prioritization for sure. It's a testament to her strength and resilience.
And her determination to live life on her own terms, which is an important point.
It is. She's not letting the media dictate her life. She's making her own choices.
And that's a great place to pause for now.
Yeah, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll dive into Rihanna's later albums, that Super Bowl performance, and her philanthropic work. Welcome back. Let's jump right back into our deep dive on Rihanna.
Before the break, we were talking about her incredible success in both music and business. But we can't skip over the evolution of her sound, especially when we get to albums like Anti.
Anti was a real departure for her, wasn't it?
It felt like she was moving away from those radio-friendly hits and really exploring her artistry, experimenting more.
Yeah, flexing her creative muscles, showing everyone she wasn't afraid to take risks.
It felt like such a turning point for her, like she was defining her own sound, not letting anyone else dictate it.
Exactly. You can hear those influences from dancehall, dub, even psychedelic rock in that album.
And after Anti, she took a bit of a break from releasing her own music.
She did, but she wasn't completely gone from the scene. She surprised everyone with that song on the Black Panther Wakanda Forever soundtrack.
Lift Me Up. Such a powerful ballad.
It really is, and it got her an Oscar nomination.
Well-deserved. It felt like a reminder of her incredible vocal talent, even after being away from the solo spotlight for a while.
It really showcased a different side of her, that emotional depth,
And then, of course, we have to talk about that Super Bowl halftime show in 2023.
Talk about a comeback. That was a moment.
It was electric, the energy, the set list. It was a journey through her entire career.
And performing while pregnant, it added another layer of meaning to the whole thing.
A powerful statement about womanhood, motherhood. It's just incredible.
It solidified her status as one of the greatest entertainers of our time, no question.
But even with all that success, she's somehow managed to maintain this air of mystery. She's very selective about what she shares publicly.
It's part of her appeal, isn't it? That mystique, it makes you want to learn more about her.
It makes you think what drives her, what inspires her beyond the music and the business.
Well, it's clear she's a complex person, right? An artist, a businesswoman, a mother, so much more.
And we can't forget about her philanthropy and activism. She's been very vocal about issues like racial justice and climate change.
She uses her platform to raise awareness and advocate for change. She doesn't shy away from those tough conversations.
She founded the Clara Lionel Foundation, which supports education and emergency response efforts globally. She's been a vocal advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, women's empowerment. It's inspiring.
She understands the power of her platform, and she uses it to make a real difference in the world.
So we've talked about her music, her businesses, her activism, her personal life. It's been quite a journey exploring the world of Rihanna, but there's one question that's still lingering. What's next?
The million-dollar question, right? Will we get new music? Will she expand her business empire even further?
It's hard to say, but one thing's for sure. Rihanna is always evolving, pushing boundaries, keeping us on our toes.
And that's what makes her so fascinating to follow. Her story is far from over.
It's amazing, isn't it? We've covered so much ground in this deep dive into Rihanna's world.
We really have, from those early days in Barbados to global superstardom.
We've gone through her music, her businesses, her activism, even how she's navigated life with the world, watching her every move.
And through it all, I think what's most impressive is how she stayed true to herself.
That's what really stands out, that authenticity.
Absolutely. She's never tried to fit into anyone's mold but her own.
She's always done things her way, never afraid to take risks or challenge the status quo.
And she uses her platform to speak out about things that matter, which is so important.
It's inspiring to see someone achieve so much without compromising their values.
You're right. It shows us that we can be both successful and impactful, use our voices for good, and never stop pushing boundaries.
So looking back at everything we've talked about, what do you think is the biggest takeaway from Rihanna's story?
I think it's the power of believing in yourself, She never let anyone tell her what she could or couldn't do.
She had that unwavering belief in herself, in her vision, and that's what allowed her to achieve all this.
It's a reminder that we all have that potential if we're willing to work hard, take those risks, and never give up on our dreams.
And not just about achieving success for ourselves, but about using that success to help others, make the world a better place.
Exactly. Leave a positive mark on the world.
Rihanna's certainly done that, and it feels like her story is far from over.
We've only seen the beginning. I can't wait to see what she does next, what boundaries she'll break,
what impact she'll continue to have. It's exciting to think about.
One thing's for sure, we'll all be watching, and I hope our listeners will continue to explore Rihanna's world as well.
It's a testament to what's possible with hard work, determination, and that self-belief we were talking about.
Her story is an inspiration, and it will continue to inspire for a long time to come.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you've enjoyed this journey as much as we have, and we encourage you to keep learning, keep questioning, keep diving deep into the things that interest you.
Until next time. Man down,